Am I the asshole for telling my cousin she's committing a sin? I'll try to keep this straight to the point, but I 18F can answer any questions you have. A year and a half ago, my cousin 17 female and aunt 50 plus immigrated from Saudi Arabia. They have been living with my family and I in Canada ever since. It's been a real struggle for everyone to adjust. Because they are way more religious than me, they see themselves as more superior. I can't read or write Arabic properly, so they say, "Oh poor op, losing her faith and culture because she was born here," or they comment on the fact that I can't read the Quran in the original language. Everything I do, they comment on. I watch a show, listen to music, dye my hair, wear skinny jeans, or anything remotely fun in front of them, and they give their opinion. "Darling, this is haram, sweetie, doing this is actually not permitted, op, you can't do this unless you want to go to hell." My parents have told me to keep the peace and that they'll soon get their own place. Since the whole lockdown, my cousin has taken up a new hobby, painting. She's actually really talented and I'm surprised she's never painted before. I was watching anime in our shared room when she told me to turn it off. She said she can't concentrate listening to something haram while she painted. I told her that she's also committing a sin by painting a girl. In Islam, painting any living thing is a sin. This led to a whole fight and our parents got involved. Basically, they're telling me to apologize because her painting isn't harming anybody. My cousin has stopped talking to me because my aunt made her stop painting. This caused problems between my parents and aunt because they're telling my aunt it's fine if she paints. Now there's tension in our house and my parents are kind of pissed at me. Am I the asshole for causing this fight? I admit I lost my temper, but after a year and a half of this, I couldn't take it anymore. Also, my cousin was really good at painting and it was a way for her to get creative. I feel really bad now that she's not allowed. AITA, not some Muslims getting triggered by this post LMAO. Don't send me hate. I'm a crybaby. Thanks all for your advice, comments. I really appreciate it. I'll have a talk with my parents tomorrow. Hopefully it goes well. Not the asshole. If she's going to have a running commentary about how you're living, she better expect to be held to that same standard. I would tell your family that you'll agree not to comment on what they do so long as they can keep their opinions to themselves. Not the asshole. Religion is so bizarre, so like, you can't draw living things. Not the asshole. What's the expression? Don't dish it if you can't take it. Or something like that. Lol. Not the asshole, you watching anime, dyeing your hair, etc. wasn't harming anyone either, but your aunt and cousin still found a reason to comment on it and shame you for it. I'm very much of the opinion live and let live as long as you're not endangering anyone else. Not the asshole. They can call you out, but you can't say anything to them? Music, clothing, and hair colors are ways people get creative too, and they had an issue with way you do so, sorry for it. You shouldn't have to apologize. Not the asshole, there's a way you speak to people, especially when you're staying at their house. Your cousin and auntie are disrespectful. If she's gonna point out all your sins, then why can't you do the same? Hers is arguably a bigger one if that's what we're doing here. Muslim myself. Not the asshole. I've studied Islam in uni, and from what I understand, the form of Islam practiced in Saudi Arabia is Wahhabism. One of the strictest forms of Islam and one that's not practiced by the vast majority of Muslims. Would she go up to a Malaysian Muslim and complain about their colorful hijabs? Or a Shia or Sufi Muslim and complain about their practices? Going to go up to a convert on the street and complain about her being white? Because seriously, if so, she's going to have a long, stressful, and boring life. And it will be never-ending. LMAO, not the asshole. If they're so into this religion, they at least should be able to follow the rules of the religion. Especially if they make fun of you for not knowing everything about Islam. Not the asshole. You held their hypocrisy up to their faces and their position on what isn't haram collapsed. Now they're forced to bend the rules just this once to accommodate your cousin's painting hobby. If they can bend rules just this once, then they no longer have a moral leg to stand on and can no longer be superior to you. Buckle up, things may become more intense at home. Stick to your guns because what you're showing your aunt, cousin is that you may have lost your culture by being raised outside Saudi, but you still know the core rules of your faith. By your one simple action, you kinda checkmated them and I love it. Not the asshole. I could never imagine living in someone else's home and telling them what is okay and not okay to do based on my religious beliefs. Fuck that. They got a taste of their own medicine. As far as apologies go, if your parents want you to apologize, tell them you will apologize to her if she and her parents won't ever try to tell you how to live your life. It sucks for her that her parents aren't allowing her to do what she wants, but that isn't your fault. That's the parents' fault for being crazy. Not the asshole. Religion is helluva a drug. Not the asshole. People like them don't tend to like getting a taste of their own medicine. If they're preaching this way of life to you, they have no right to then break that way for themselves. They're simply hypocrites. Not the asshole. Religious nutjobs are always terrible people and they are always surprised at their own hypocrisy. If they possessed enough critical thinking to understand their own hypocrisy, they'd be too smart to be religious nutjobs in the first place. That's haram, that's haram, that's haram, that's haram. You know, that thing you're doing is also haram. How the fuck could you say that? Apologize. Clearly not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's free to start painting secretly till she's 18, anytime she likes, once she admits other things that are forbidden are no more evil than painting. The fact that she wasn't hurting anyone isn't the problem, it's that it's forbidden according to their standards. People who follow unnecessary standards don't deserve to be kept in ignorance about what they are to make it easier on them. Plus, I don't get why she wouldn't be allowed to paint non-living things. She FKED around and found out. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You, not the asshole. Not the asshole. You caught her in self-righteous hypocrisy and she doesn't like it. Not the asshole. Live by the strict religion, die by the strict religion. This right here is a good example of why I despise religion in general. Not the asshole. They shouldn't call you out for things if they can't accept it back. Not the asshole. I'm going straight to the point. Your aunt and mom both need to realize that they now live in Canada and not Saudi. It's one thing to consider tradition, but for the younger generation who still leaves the house and have to mingle with the rest of the real world, their minds need to be open to the Western culture. Because that's what's out that door, a few feet away. If your family doesn't acknowledge that soon, can you imagine if a day comes where your aunt or cousin get lost out there in the middle of the city and can't contact family? Will they start having a conniption in the middle of traffic? Do they know to call 911 for emergencies? They're not in Saudi Arabia. Good luck, mate. You are definitely not the $. And unfortunately she might not be either. Family and culture are tricky things to navigate. I'm super sorry you're going through this, but you didn't nothing wrong. And though it might not help, you could tell your cousin how proud you were of her painting. It might not help, but that's your truth. Not the asshole. You put up with it for a whole year and a half. Cousin has now learned you don't throw stones in glass houses. Don't apologize. Maybe they will move out faster this way. Not the asshole. If painting is okay because it doesn't harm anyone, you wearing skinny jeans doesn't harm anyone either. And #X200B. By the way, I had no idea that it was a sin to paint, draw a living thing in Islam. That's interesting. Not the asshole. They have been incredibly rude to you, but they can't handle having their hypocrisy called out. You didn't do anything wrong. The lesson learned: religion causes stress and bad vibes. Ever heard the phrase, you live by the sword, you die by the sword? If they are that obsessed with following every part of the religion, then this should be a sacrifice they are happy to make. And not the asshole. I would totally have done the same. Not the asshole. Damn right you called her out for her hypocrisy. Don't let them get to you. They can take their righteous sense of purpose and shove it LMAO. Not the asshole. You did not cause the fight. They are guests in your home and they should respect you, and your parents should be defending you. Do me a favor and remind them whose house they're freeloading in, then tell your parents that they're disgusting for allowing them to act so superior and treat you so badly just because family. You are their family as well, so why are they letting you suffer? In fact, you should be their priority and not his crackpot relatives. Not the asshole. I will fully admit that at the title I was ready to say YTA, but dang. You gave them a taste of their own medicine. Boo freaking who that they didn't like it. Not the asshole. NTA They are using their religion as a cudgel to bludgeon you. Pointing out their hypocrisy is fine. Especially since the no painting living creatures is a pretty well-known rule. I'm Christian and I know that's a big thing in Islam. She can still paint, she just has to follow her own rules or admit she's a hypocrite. Not the asshole. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Not the asshole. Without going into much detail in my own background, religion can often feel like a game of choose what hypocrisy level you are comfortable with. In this case, though, she dished out the haram, and then couldn't take similar criticism. Am I the asshole for causing this fight? I admit I lost my temper, but after a year and a half of this, I couldn't take it anymore. You are fully justified by the fact, they made the door wide open by judging you. They are pissed off, because you have beaten them with their own weapons. Not the asshole. P.S. In my religion there is a quote, do not judge, and you will not be judged. I think, this rule is quite universal and suitable. Not the asshole. If your cousin will sit down with you, I would tell her that your comment was no different than the jabs she has been making at you for a year. That how she felt from the comment is how you feel every time she has said something. And also that it sucks that her mom made her stop painting, because you think her art is wonderful. Not the asshole OFC. She just tasted her own medicine. Her painting isn't harming anybody. Nor does listening to music or dyeing your hair. But it's kinda a waste of talent just because her religion told her that she can't do that. Not the asshole. You can apologize by saying, I'm sorry you committed a sin. Hope you don't go to hell for it. Not the asshole, but they are. You were petty, but I love it lol. Hooray for ridiculous religious dogma getting in the way of people living their actual lives. Funny how everything they say you do is haram while ignoring that what they're doing is also haram. Musical notes isn't it ironic? Don't Shia think, musical notes? Not the asshole. I am going to tell it like it is, you're not the asshole. Actually, religion is the end of. Not the asshole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Unless you're a practicing Muslim, of the same sect as your aunt and cousin, they have no right to impose their sects, their own beliefs on you. Good golly, live and let live. All the adults in this situation need to pull their heads out their ass and realize that judging each other is a toxic environment, for everyone. Not the asshole. They shouldn't push their beliefs and ideals on anyone, when they do so they should expect it to be done back. Not the asshole. If she's going to comment on other people being sinful then she better follow all the rules, otherwise she's a hypocrite, plus she brought it on herself. Don't dish what you can't take. Her painting isn't harming anyone, sure. But your anime isn't harming anyone either, so it's quite hypocritical for them to be mad at you. NTA. Not the asshole. A bit sad for your cousin I guess, but it sounds like it's thoroughly deserved and I don't feel sorry for her. You shouldn't either. Maybe she'll learn not to be so superior and judgmental. Not the asshole. She weaponized her religion against you, not out of religious principles, but because she dislikes you, or at least dislikes your actions. Apparently people don't like it when you call them out on their bullshit, who knew? Not the asshole. Haram or not, these hands are rated E for everyone. Being subject to constant criticism about how you are literally living is exhausting, uncalled for and unnecessary. She's taking the whole anti-SHT talking to a whole new level, as is your cousin. Making sure people keep with their own standards is not something you have to apologize for. If you want to try and personally, quietly fix things with your cousin, maybe sneak her some supplies or something, I think that would be great, but apologizing to your aunt is an unacceptable request and unfair of them to expect you to be some sort of bigger person when she's the adult setting the standard you were simply upholding. Not the asshole. So it's fine if they constantly insult you and tell you everything you're doing will send you to hell, but the first time you say something similar everyone freaks out? Sorry, but no. If they don't want to hear when they sin, they should shut their mouths about what you're doing. They're hypocrites. Oh, and also Oz,